The first sentence in the introduction of the book is, "If you want to change the world, there's no better place to start than with the clothes on your back and the shoes on your feet." You might be skeptical about this, but the author backs this up with astonishing facts about the apparel industry, like the amount of waste it produces and its worrying environmental and social impacts. This continues throughout the whole book. The whole thing is based on facts. She's really done her research on the subject, and because there are so many facts, there's tons of great extra reading from where the facts are referenced from. So check out the notes and the resources sections at the back of the book for lots of further reading. The title of this book is The Conscious Closet, which the author defines: a conscious closet is a wardrobe built with greater intention and awareness of our clothes, where they come from, what they're made out of, and why they matter. In how to use this book, she recommends choosing a personality type to get the most out of the book. The three options are the minimalist. They buy what they feel is necessary only, and they prefer a more timeless look, and they plan on keeping their clothes for as long as possible. The style seeker, she also calls them the maximalists. They're into trends of the moment and they really like statement pieces. And the traditionalist is the midpoint between a minimalist and a style seeker. So traditionalists have balanced, moderate tendencies that stem from both extremes. At the moment, I'm probably a minimalist. I tend to wear very basic stuff, and the stuff I wear I keep for a really long time. I'd say I'm an aspirational traditionalist. I'd like to take more risks and wear more festive things, and I'd like to be more daring and interesting with my clothing, at least now and then. Especially since I do work in the fashion industry, I think it would be good for me to know how to dress trendy, just sometimes for maybe fashion events, and who knows, if I like it, I might actually do it more often. But first, I know it's a muscle that I need to exercise to get comfortable wearing certain statement pieces or colorful items. For now, I'm probably more of a minimalist. This book is all about action. It's about following along, and if you do, by the end, you'll actually have a significantly more sustainable closet. And this book also teaches you how to maintain it over the long haul. Part 1, called Goodbye Fast Fashion, is a guide to cleaning out your current closet. She has tips like edit back the trendy stuff, get rid of things that don't go with anything else in your closet. For the pieces you bought but never wore, reflect on why and learn from them. One of my favorite quotes is, "Wearing what you've got for longer is one of the most effective ways to green your wardrobe." One of the simplest and most impactful things you can do is just keep wearing the clothes you already own. Part 1 also goes into the best ways to get rid of the clothes you don't want anymore, like donate, sell, swap, or recycle, but in a thoughtful way. And the author recommends doing your due diligence in finding organizations that are in need of gently used clothing. Check locally first, look for organizations that you recognize and that you want to support. You can even sell your pieces that are in good shape on resale apps and sites and make some money while keeping your unwanted pieces out of landfills. Part 2 is called The Art of Less. The Art of Less is a philosophy based on the thoughtful, intentional consumption of fewer items of clothing. The Art of Less isn't anti-fashion, it's anti-clutter and anti-waste and anti-mindless consumption. I love and practice the art of less. A few years back, I did a 1-year-long challenge of not buying any clothes or shoes. I did it pretty effortlessly. There was maybe once in the year when I wanted to buy like new socks because my socks were getting worn out. But overall, it was surprisingly easy not to buy any clothes for 1 year. So how I got around getting some new things was making them myself. If I really needed something, I decided I could make it. So I understand this might not be something everyone can do, but as a fashion designer, I'm able to make any clothing that I really needed. I think I made 1 or 2 items during that year, but that was it. I also spent a good bit of time altering clothing I already had. This was probably the biggest way I ended up with, newly wearable items in my wardrobe. I, just like many people, have so many pieces of clothing that I don't wear, so it was easy to find things that I could alter to make something that I had wanted to buy. In part 2, the author also goes over how to buy higher quality clothing and footwear so that it lasts longer. In part 3, The Art of More, the author shares how to be a fashion consumer but in a sustainable way. She highlights the resale clothing industry where you can buy and sell used clothing. There's lots of apps and sites now like ThreadUp, Poshmark, RealReal, Material World, Tradesy, Grailed, Vinted, and the classic eBay. These sites are really helping to keep clothes out of landfills. And she also talks about the fashion rental industry. There are a few businesses now that are renting clothing, like Rent the Runway. Gwynnie B. Letote. This is especially good for the style seekers that really thrive on trends and statement pieces that are hard to wear over and over because they're so distinct. Also, thrift and vintage shopping. These are all great ways to have new pieces in your wardrobe without buying newly made pieces. Part 4, the Sustainable Fashion Handbook, gets into research and learning what fibers are more eco-conscious, what brands are more eco-conscious. One thing I found interesting is the microplastic issue, that all of our clothing made of polyester sheds these teeny tiny microfibers that end up in the ocean. These little fibers from our clothes have been found everywhere from beaches to lakes and in everything from beer to table salt to seafood and drinking water. That's scary. She gives links to organizations to support, including Five Gyres, Greenpeace, Oceanic Society, Plastic Pollution Coalition, and I'll link them below. And some tools to use in the wash to help prevent the microfibers from your clothes going into the ocean. Check out Cora Ball and Gubby Friend to help capture your microfibers in the wash. Also links below. One thing I'm doing is buying less clothing with polyester, including clothing that has the 2% elastic, which is in everything these days. I'm trying to buy more 100% cotton, 100% linen, 100% wool. And yes, this means getting used to 100% cotton jeans again, which is crazy to think that we're so used to having that 2% stretch in almost everything these days, from button-down shirts to jeans. And I've also found that clothing without stretch tends to last longer, it's more durable, and it keeps its shape longer, and it just looks good for a longer period of time. In part 5, Make It Last, the author talks about how to keep your clothes in tip-top shape, how to launder clothing properly, how to remove stains, repair and mend, and to trust in a tailor or professional cleaner when a stain or hole feels too difficult for you to fix. In part 6, The Fashion Revolution, the author talks about the industry as a whole, the issues, how to hold brands accountable for their manufacturing practices, and how to find like-minded people to discuss how to make the fashion industry a better place. This book is a great starting point in learning how to have a more environmentally friendly closet. And even if you choose one little thing to do from the book to help the industry, it can have a big positive impact on how we all move forward. This book is just the tip of the iceberg. As I mentioned earlier, the resources and the notes section at the end of this book are full of resources that go into much more specialized areas of environmental and social concern related to fashion. I look forward to digging deeper and learning more about what's really going on in fashion and what I can do to make it a better place. Let me know in the comments what you will do to make the fashion industry a better place. You can choose something that I mentioned in this video or come up with your own idea of how to be a more thoughtful consumer. Thanks for watching. Give this video a like and don't forget to subscribe and hit the little bell icon to be notified when new videos come out. And I will see you in the next one.